Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of the Find a Way podcast with Dusty. Hopefully, you're doing well on your journey. As the beginning of the year kind of settles in, it's the time where you see so many start the journey, and it's such an experience to see so many different journeys start in so many different ways. Anywhere from, folks starting the 75 hard, or getting consistent in the gym, starting their gym regimen, or a diet or exercise. And whether you're here and you've been here for quite a while and you're a faithful listener, or whether you're new and you're just starting off your journey, the beginning of the year is such this big, starting something. I'm gonna get something going. And it is so easy to overwhelm ourselves with, and really touching on the last episode about chaos and about being uncomfortable. It's absolutely needed for growth. Being uncomfortable definitely sparks growth. But you've got to be able to control the narrative a little bit and not making it worse than it's already going to be. Like, starting this journey as it is already going to be tough, but adding to that and making it almost not achievable is recipe for falling off the journey and not being successful. What I'm saying, or what I mean by that, is whether you're starting your journey over, whether you're starting it for the first time, whether you're in the middle of it, you've always got to make sure that you're doing a check on not doing too much. I can't tell you how many years and years where I started something and stepped off because I was doing too much. Over the course of my many years on Instagram, I have started a Patreon, started 2 or 3 different TikToks, started a YouTube channel, started probably 4 to 5 different avenues of sharing the journey that went away. I have some of those because I've had to start over, like a YouTube channel. I think I had a couple thousand subscribers. I was doing too much, and I was like, it's just too much, and I got rid of it. I am back on YouTube, but in kind of a different way. It almost replicates what I do on Instagram, and I have an easy way of replicating, and it's easy for me to do. But I have a tendency to do too much, and I'm not able to be consistent with what I'm doing, or it occupies my time so much that I'm not able to do it over the long term, that it doesn't become something that I can do. Like, let me give you a great example. When I started the Patreon, I was like, hey, maybe I can, let's see, I opened up subscriptions on Instagram. That's another one. I opened up subscriptions and then they went away. I didn't feel like I could provide value to those that were subscribed, and I almost felt bad that people were subscribed to me not providing anything extra. Like, I didn't know what I could give. I was trying to actually, when I started, to give ebooks. Like, hey, you get 1 free ebook a month. But, I can only spit out so many ebooks. And after somebody follows me or subscribes for 6 months, hey, that's all the ebooks. And so that was tough for me to justify doing a subscription when I feel like I wasn't providing any value to it. And so I knew that in order for me to provide value, I would really have to spend some extra time. And it's not that it wouldn't be worth spending extra time for those that are subscribed, but beyond what I was already sharing, I wasn't sure what to share. And I found myself going this extra mile of here's a recipe. It's easy to get a recipe from anybody for free, so why would you subscribe to get a recipe from me? I felt like I was doing too much. And doing too much, I just quit. And I can't tell you how many avenues on social media and different avenues that I've done, it just has become too much for me. Trying to formally do this video podcast and buy a mic. I even was live on Twitch, the video streaming. I set up Remember, I set up like a 100-foot Cat5 cable from my modem when I was in California all the way to the garage so I can record my workouts. And maybe someone can get an idea for me recording my workout. I'm just doing too much. And I quit. Again and again and again, I quit. Just because it was too much. And I've always gone back to Instagram just because it's what I know and it's easy. What I have now, which is this podcast, I throw my phone on the vent where it is now and I just talk while I'm driving. It's easy. Uploading it, 2 or 3 clicks, easy. You ever look at the description of my podcast episodes? It says, thanks for tuning in, because that's easy. It's just a quick, the meat and potatoes of it is all going to be in this episode itself. So I say that as an example to say, don't make it tougher on yourself by doing too much. You really got to ask yourself, am I doing too much? Well, I've got to lose weight. I've got to get a gym program. I've got to walk. I've got to exercise. I've got to do 30 minutes. I've got to eat right. I've got to prioritize protein. I've got to, Don't do too much. I know you've got to lose weight. I know you've got to prioritize nutrition. I know you've got to work out and get your, I know that. But from somebody that's been 9 years in now, let me just say, that trying to rush in the first 6 months to figure it all out, to just overwhelm yourself in 6 months to get burned out, it's no point. That's why this has been long talked about on this particular podcast, on how this is a long-term journey, to where to most that see, like, I'm just thinking like an office environment. Someone starts the new year, first 6 months, boom, killing it. Oh, they're overwhelming themselves. But you know what? They've lost 50 pounds in 2 months, and everyone in the office is seeing the amazing success they're going through. But then you, on the alternative, have changed one thing, and you've lost 3 pounds. 7 pounds. You've lost a pound or 2 pounds a week. And it's like, oh, well, I want to know what that person's doing that lost 50 pounds in the 2 months. But what if that person that lost it like that gains it back and just goes through the same cycle again and again and again, and then you, who lost 6-7 pounds, are all of a sudden like, you know what? I lost 6 or 7 pounds, but that 6 or 7's not coming back. So I think I'm doing just fine. That's where you don't overwhelm yourself. I know that nutrition's important. I know that exercise. I know that getting a routine. I know, like my practical weight loss guide, I know that there are 20 chapters in there. But you've got to, you can't read the whole book and get all of it put together. No, you know what? Take a chapter. If I've talked about it takes 2.5 years, take a chapter a month. So you know what? I'm going to take one chapter of this practical weight loss guide. And if you don't have it, recommend to get it. It's absolutely worth it. Everyone I've talked to has said it's worth it, and I would absolutely recommend it. But say you take that practical weight loss guide. It's got 20 chapters in it. Take one chapter a month and just dedicate one chapter to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do this month. This is what I'm going to focus on. Then the next month, you go out through 20 months. Okay? If it's taken 2.5 years, you take 20 months to read a chapter a month, and then you take the next, next 10 months after that, putting it into practice. You're putting it into practice in the 20 months that you're doing it, but then you're refining, you're fine-tuning the next 10 months what you just learned in the prior 20 months. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden now you are a well-oiled machine. You are not just a tinker toy, lack of better words, a tinker toy of like, I'm just throwing all these pieces together, all these screws and nuts and bolts together, and I'm just going to make it work. No, now you're a well-oiled fighting robot. You've got all the pieces in place. You've got all the nuts and screws and everything's in place where you are just a powerful health machine. Because now you know exactly what to do, how to do it, and you've not only learned it in an appropriate amount of time, but now you've given yourself time to really put it into practice and see how it works. Don't overwhelm yourself on this journey. Let me just tell you, if you overwhelm yourself and you do too much too quick, you're going to quit. Take it one day at a time, one task, one mission, one step at a time, and it's going to add up. it's going to add up to your success. It's absolutely going to add up to your success. So thank you again for learning, leaning. Thank you once again for listening to this episode. You can tell I get hyped and amped about this because it's hard to transition and slow down, but thank you for tuning into this episode. We'll talk to you on the next one. Take care.